Mr. Proctor, if I should tell you now that I will let her be kept another month, and if she begin to show her natural signs, you shall have her living yet another year until she is delivered. What say you to that? Come now, you say your only purpose is to save your wife. Good then, she is saved at least this year, and a year is long. What say you, sir? It is done now. Will you drop this charge? This was spoken by Mr. Danforth to John Proctor. John Proctor was a farmer during the time of the Salem witch trials, and in this scene he is trying to save his wife Elizabeth from being hung. However, Mr. Paris accuses him of trying to overthrow the court because he does not respond immediately. So the question is, did John Proctor have any ulterior motives when he interrupted the court session? No, he did not. Proctor's name is an acronym, which is when your name reveals traits about you, and and Proctor means to supervise or monitor. And we know this is true because he's the boss or the supervisor of Mary Warren. And when you supervise or monitor people, part of that is like keeping them in check. And we see that that is true when in Act 1, when he is talking to Paris and they're discussing the 66-pound salary. And we can deduce that John Proctor is a reliable narrator, so we can take his word when he says he doesn't have any ulterior motives. We can say that he's a reliable narrator because he didn't lie to his wife about cheating. She already knew that he cheated. So that proves that he's not trying to like hide anything from her. Or yeah. Lost my train of thought there. And secondly, the only reason that Proctor does hesitate is because only his wife gets to go free and not his friends' wives. Frances Nurse and Giles Corey, their wives are also both in prison, and Proctor's trying to get them free, and he doesn't feel comfortable with letting them hang and not his wife. Um, he wanted the release of all three of the wives. Um, and in Act 3, he says, "Will you read this first, sir? It's a sort of testament. The people signing it declare their good opinion of Rebecca and my wife and Martha Corey." And that was also in Act 3 of The Crucible. So we can deduce that John Proctor had no ulterior motives. The hesitation was only because of his friends' wives that were still in jail. And the speed at which Paris accused him of overthrowing the court just kind of goes to show how quickly people want to assume the worst in others. People do it all the time when someone is like kind of nervous around you and you're thinking, what are they doing? What are they planning? What do they plan on doing? And so, like, people as a society, they tend to expect the worst of someone without actually knowing the people, and especially when there is no reason to. Which I guess makes sense because our brains are naturally pessimistic, but it just kind of goes to show that, like, we need to try harder to not be this way, because otherwise we'll be hanging each other left and right. I think I forgot to show you my note card. There's my note card. Here's my quote, and I wasn't reading off of anything. It's just my very messy room behind me.